Hey everybody, welcome back to KMS Gameszone, and welcome to The Infected. This is a game I haven't broadcast on my channel before, but I have been playing quite a lot of it off camera, and this is the first session really. I thought I'd probably record some of my footage to show you where I'm at with it, but I'm currently at over 200 hours of gameplay on this. It's taken up a heck of a lot of my time. The game is totally addictive, as you'll find out when you play it. But if you like games where, like The Forest, you design your camp and build your resources up, and it's so many options and things open to you. If you like crafting and designing weapons, it's all in this game basically, and it really is. The sky's the limit really in regards to what you can actually create. So it's absolutely superb. As I said, totally addictive, absorbing. It's fantastic. The environment's great. It's constantly going through updates, so there's always new things being added to the game. So we'll hop in now and have a look, and you can see where I'm currently at with it. As I said, this is the first video. I haven't put anything on about the Infected before, so you'll see the world I created and the my base, and we'll have a quick look around, and I'll show you around. So hope you enjoy.
KMS
Right, so here we are. This is my base. Got quite a big area actually. It's not so much a base, but more like a. I think I've created almost like another village. I think there are about 6 villages you can visit on this game, and I think I just created another one here. So this was we go over here and I'll show my first house. This was my very first house that I built when there was nothing else here. No fences, no nothing, and it was a simple wood structure. Started off as my base. I had my bed in here and the fridge and everything else when I was able to actually craft those resources. Now it's more like a storage or construction lab basically. I've got all the workbenches in here, so every time I want to construct something, I've got all the tools in here to do so. I've got obviously the forge. I've got some racks to store some of the metals. I got the steel one here, which I've used up at the moment. But yeah, there's so many resources here which you have to get used to in this game, and there's lots of access to different types of metals. To start with, iron was very difficult to come by, but now once you actually get the latest addition to the game, which is the stone grinder, that actually releases loads of iron fragments, of which you can see it going up there now. And sand as well. I mean, I've got so much sand, I could probably create my own beach with all the sand I've got. It's literally coming out of my ears from this thing. Again, that was when the game first started. To get sand, you had to rub 2 rocks together in the crafting menu, which you've got here. So you put 2 rocks in here, grind them together, and you get 1 portion of sand with 10 pieces of sand in. So it's quite a long process to get any sand. Rocks, you have to get the rocks by cracking all the stones which lie around you, and sometimes you can find small stones lying around like that. Just pick them up when you do, and you go back to your grinder. You can pop them in the basket, or you've got the specially designed stone baskets to store everything. So it's all about storage. I've got all the boxes here, look, with all the metals in. So I've got to try and get some more steel. To get steel, you need lead and iron, and you need the lead and iron ore. You can't use the iron scrap, so you have to have the iron ore or the lead scraps, or the lead ore, and you combine the 2 of those together on the anvil in here, and you can create steel. And then steel then has to be smelted down in your forge to give you steel ingots. And steel's used quite a lot. Just got a Bambi died somewhere. He's been trying to get through my defenses, but didn't succeed. So yeah, you have to melt down all your iron from the ore. It gives you then ingots with which you can use to create batteries, mechanical items, such as the oil pump you got going over there. That's the latest addition as well to the latest update. So you got cobalt, which is used a lot in the batteries. Cobalt, you got aluminium, or aluminum for my American friends. Got copper and wood. You got yourself a wood saw over here, which is really good. That thing produces lots of decent wood for you. Again, that was another addition aside from the basic wood saws you had here, where you had to put a log on and it gave you about 2 or 3 planks per trunk of wood. So the other one here is a little bit more effective, gives you a little bit more wood for the log basically. So you've got the cement clay extractor, which is very handy if you need to use a lot of cement. And so it's good to store clay and sand as well. So if you get the clay from here, it gives you the clay soil. You have to take that to your advanced workbench and make it into clay. The clay then obviously with the sand gets made using the cement mixers into cement. So you can use that to upgrade wooden structures like wooden foundation to a stone concrete foundation, such as you can see over here. So that was originally a wooden structure, and I've gone a little bit OTT on my tower here, as you can see. Crystal tower, it's starting to get quite high now, and just a case of just seeing how far up I can go. But I've got, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm on the 10th floor now already, but it takes a lot of steel and a lot of glass, obviously, and lots of screws as well. So screws are made with copper, so you've got to get 1 copper ingot to get 10 screws. So you find yourself eating up quite a lot of resources by building this. So just a little experiment just to see what can be done on this game. Literally, you can make anything if you've got the resources there to do it. And you can see from the options available what the type of crafting resources are for buildings. So you've got lots of glass, wood, and then any of the wood structures can be made into concrete by upgrading them with the upgrade hammer. You've got your placeable items like the workbenches. You've got the storage items to store. You've got your storage containers to store anything basically. Weapon racks, clothing racks, dry brick racks, stone crates, anything for all the different types of wood you can get. Chest rack is just basically a novelty item. It's not really an effective item. It doesn't actually work. You can't store anything in it. Chest items are for different types of metal. Then of course you've got the power, the control panel. You use that to switch on and off appliances in your base, and you can move. I've got a couple of those in the area. Wind turbines obviously speak for themselves. They can operate around the clock. They're not affected by the weather. They just keep on turning. Solar panel, obviously, when they've got a nice sunny day, they'll be working to give you some power. Batteries store any power during the day, and when it comes to the dark, then if your electrical items are over resourcing what you've got available from the wind turbines, then they'll kick in and give you a little bit of extra power before they deplete. If the batteries do deplete and and they run out, all your electrical items will switch off. So you have to bear in mind, if you've got like your fridge freezers, which are connected up with power, unless you switch the power back on again, your fridge freezers will not be effective, and any food you got in there will start to go off. So that's something to keep an eye on. But yeah, this is a little novelty item I did here. Look, just to see. I've got to probably take it up. Got another maybe 10 floors. I'll just keep on going, see how far I can go up. But this is my main area. This is all the constructing sheds I constructed here, basically to store wood, circular saws, and again more cement mixers. The sharpening tool's great. If you've got any items which need sharpening, then instead of replacing them like you used to before, when they break, you can actually just keep on repairing the same one. So quickly sharpen it like that, and you can keep the same spear. Whereas before they used to break if they got to the point where they were ready to snap on you. You can also see as well the sun resistance has gone right down to 28 because I've been standing out in the hot sun. That's another latest addition to the game. You have to stay in the shade if you want to get the sun resistance up. So anything like a tree which casts a bit of shade will help you. So I need to build that up a bit, but I've got some items. You've got the large flask, a small flask, that obviously to collect water. And once you've got your sink in your base, then you can get your own fresh water without having to boil it. So this is my second base I did. So I've got 2 fridges in here. You've got the power battery. It tells you the power you've got there. I've got lots of ceiling lamps. You can switch those on and off from here if you want to. But I tend to just keep most of the stuff switched off unless I really need it. So I've got stored capacity of batteries, power in, power available 258. So I've got plenty of spare power at the moment. My fridges are pretty full. Lots of food in there. Got your stove to cook and boil water on. You can refill up your water flasks from here, and you don't have to boil the water, it comes already clean. This is a little area I've done upstairs. So it's quite a big area, as you can see. I've spent a lot of time doing this up. It has taken a bit of time. So, and this is my first little bedroom area I designed. So if we come out of here, and I'll take you over to what was actually the pond. It's now created a sort of a pool. We go up here. So obviously this is for getting your fish. But I've created some sort of little swimming pool environment, as you can see. That's pretty tidy. Obviously freezes over in the winter. But you can go in there and get yourself some fish. And I've got perimeter spike traps all around, so nothing much can get in here. And those spike traps over there, when they get damaged by the Bambis or the wolves, you can actually repair them with iron scraps. So that's why the iron scraps actually come in quite handy. You build up quite a lot of them with a stone grinder. But yeah, these spike traps, they work pretty effectively. They got more of a hit ratio than the basic standard wooden traps, which didn't last for very long. I think they're only about 50, I think, and these are 500, so they take a little bit more punishment before they collapse. But I like to walk around the perimeter and repair everything. But when I've got myself a big wad of iron scraps in my backpack. So this is a little kitchen area I did. Another stove, another sink, another fridge freezer, clay bowls to store the onion soup. There's like a little dining room area here. They've got the lights up. I've got 2 lights in here. And another forge if you need it. But it looks more like a fire. So yeah, it's literally amazing what you can create in this game. It's you can just build and build and build. Yourself a little sun terrace here where you can sit down. It'd be nice to see some sort of like outdoor furniture where you can, like an outdoor table and chairs, maybe sun lounger. Maybe that'll be something they bring in the future. But putting something like that here would be good. You're limited at the moment as to the furniture items, mainly like wood and leather chairs. So yeah, it is in development, as I said. So perhaps there'll be those things in the future. But I've got lots of storage here for important items which you need. Lots of plastic, Kevlar, cloth, rations which I've been making, bricks and glass. One word of advice: to get a lot of these items, some of these are quite costly to actually make, especially when you're talking about the mechanical and electrical parts. They do take a lot of resources. But if you go into one of the villages, and you actually find a lot of this stuff randomly lying around. So I probably just advise to go to a village. I think every 10 days it refreshes anyway. So if you have stripped the village clean of everything, go back after 10 game days, and you'll probably find that it's restacked up with a lot of stuff. But you get a lot of cloth and Kevlar. As you can see, I've got quite a bit of Kevlar building up here now. Rations you build yourself. Plastic, you find loads of these in the village. Bricks and glass. Glass is easy to make now that you can get loads of sand, and the dry bricks as well, easy to make. So there's not really much point lumbering yourself down with those. Rope, I think 25 rope is just 50 tree fiber. Again, you can get loads of those. Animal skins. You're forever getting animals walking up to your base and attacking you, like wolves and bears and things. Kill one of those, you get yourself an animal skin. Easily acquired. Let's put my light on. Don't see, it's getting dark. So I've got my battery storage room in here. If we go up again, up onto the top floor, is like the main bedroom area with a little glass wall there to look out over the pond. And go down here, they've got another terrace where this is outdoors now. This is out open to the elements. So yeah, it'd be nice to get something here, like a chair you can sit on. Oh, someone's having a go. Someone's having a go at my defences. Probably a wolf, I think. I'll deal with that now. But so this is another little area. I've just created a couple of rooms up here. We put beds in, basically. Looks like a little hotel. There's another one in there. So you can get these oil lamps and put them up, and they just burn continuously. Or you can get the electric ones, which are pretty cool. But yeah, there's lots of options there. But quite a big house. It's over functional, I suppose. It's not really, all this space isn't really needed, but you could manage with the size of my base I've got down there. It's probably perfectly at the right size. But it's just a case of this game encourages you to create and create and create. So you just want to keep on building. And I thought I'd stop when I built this place here. I thought, oh, I'll stop at that now and I'll just play the game. But now I started building this. So before long, I got a massive city here. So yeah, it's an awesome game. Pick up the small stones. Out of it, always get yourself a greenhouse, so you can plant yourself some fruit, vegetables, which will grow during the cold winter months when you can't find any of this stuff lying around. But when I first played this game, you didn't have so many resources, and your first winter is always the first difficult part of the game. Ooh, random cucumber plant, pick it up. First winter, you have to obviously get the means to survive during the winter. So you have to find fruit and vegetables. At the time, fruit and vegetables were still randomly spawning during the winter. But with the latest update, that no longer happens. So that means if you're actually getting any food for the winter, you have to hunt it. If you've got no fruit and vegetables, then you just have to struggle as best you can. But it's always a good idea to try and store stuff. Try and get yourself a greenhouse, really, because you're planting boxes like this outside. As soon as you get a winter, all of these plants disappear, and you can't grow anything outside. So you have to actually have a greenhouse. So you get these grow all year round. It doesn't take any electric to run them, and it stays a constant temperature. So as long as you've got space to plant things in here, you can just keep the food supply going all winter. So you don't have to worry. You just have to worry about hunting your food, any to get meat. Fish, obviously, you can't get the fish because the lake freezes over. So all fish, you have to capture that, put it on the drying racks or in your fridge. You can keep fish raw in the fridge if you want to. Looks like I'm hungry now, so yeah, this guy absolutely eats like you wouldn't believe. He's every half hour the guy wants some fish or meat, so you have to give him his proteins. See the bars going up there now. So giving him some fish, giving him some meat. Cucumbers are pretty handy to heal you if you take a little bit of damage on your health. The cucumber will bring your health up quite a bit. Get your vitamins, and vitamins up is always a good idea to get yourself some sweet corn. If you see myself, yeah, that one's not grown yet. So harvest the corn, replant it again straight away so it gets a chance to grow, and then go into your menu and eat. So it goes up a little bit for fats as well, but vitamins is now full. And then perhaps I'll drink some water as well. So take my water up. So energy's getting a bit low. It's 11:55 now at night. So getting to that point where you need to start thinking about maybe sleeping. It's just like you would in your normal reality, basically. It gets late at night, you need to go to sleep. If you go all the way through the night without thinking about sleeping, then you're going to be tired the next day and you're not going to be able to do anything. So, and it's always best to obviously play the game during the daylight when you can see what you're doing. So any night, when it comes to night time, if you're tired, take the advantage of it and go to bed. And you can see your resources depleting as you get through the night, and you wake up in the morning and obviously you have to eat food. So that's as normal. That's what you normally do. So they tried to keep the realism in the game. Obviously you have to eat, you have to drink. But that being said though, I mean, this guy is particularly, I think, gluttonous when it comes to eating. He just knocks it back like it's going out of fashion. So you've got to make sure you've got plenty of food, plenty of fish. Go and hunt your fish. This is why I built my base here close to the water, so you're in easy access of the fish. And you're on a drilling site as well, mineral site. The particular site here is for copper. But where I am actually on the map, it's right down by here, and you've got south of me, got an aluminum site, and to the north, that's cobalt. So within easy reach, I've got 2 mining sites, and I'm actually on one. So I've got 3 metals there in close proximity to me. I'm also close to the swamp as well. If you ever want to go and get some meat, go and hunt some crocodiles in the swamp. They take about 6 arrows to kill them, so you get yourself loads of meat there. I find this cave here is good for getting lead. This one here close to me is a little bit small, and I find that the random generation of the rocks isn't really quick enough, and you can spend a lot of time in there waiting for a rock to generate for you to crack it open, get iron or lead. So I tend to bypass that one now. I go all the way up to this one here on the far right of the island, where take a crate with me, fill it up with lead, fill up my inventory as far as I can without getting encumbered, and then head back to the base and drop the lead off, and then that's what you use then to get your steel. So, and I've got outside of my actual perimeter here, I've got 2 mining extractors. These are both working to collect iron ore. Oh, there he is. That. Oh, disappeared. Cloud of smoke. Thank you. Goodbye. Yeah. They're just the minor annoyance now, they are. So when you get the actual Vambi raids, when you've got like 7 or 8 or 9 of them to kill, it gets interesting. But when you're in the base like this and you've got these perimeter fences, the last Vambi attack I had, all of them got killed by the spikes. Didn't have to do anything. But yeah, so I'm getting up some iron here now. Look, you got iron fragments and you're getting iron ore. Iron fragments are used to repair these when they get damaged, or you can melt them down and make ingots. 5 fragments makes 1 iron ingot. The iron ore also makes an iron ingot, but I tend to keep that for the steel. So you can mix that with the lead to make the steel. So let's see what I've got here. So I've got a fair bit of iron ore building up there. And now that I've got the water, the oil pump from the latest upgrade actually churning out the oil for me, I don't actually have to stock the extractors up with oil, which you have to do manually by using this oil extractor. So I don't really use that much now because I've got so much oil actually save from the extraction before. I've got 218 oil canisters and 5 in my inventory, so don't actually need any oil at the moment, but you do need oil for certain things like the cement mixers. So actually they work on electricity, but you've got the grinder here that needs oil, and you need oil for this as well, but they're all quite full at the moment. So yeah, I've got plenty of oil, so I don't really need to get any more oil at the moment. And let's fill that up again. I'm not going to extract that at the moment, but I've got 550 sand and 110 iron fragments ready to collect out of that, so I'm going to keep them there. That'll all make glass now with the sand go up in my tower, and the iron fragments I'll keep them to repair the perimeter fence. But got myself lots of wind turbines here, which are really handy. I think the thing is, they take a lot of resources to build one of these, a lot of metals, so you gotta make sure you're getting all the metals extracted. And I've got another load here, and I've also got some solar panels. I've got solar panels on the roof of my first base over there too. So it's all about building up your resources, get your power, get your food together, prepare for winter, and basically just enjoy the game, because there is so much to it. The actual game itself is all about survival in the wild. You start off with nothing, and literally you can create places such as this. Look, it is pretty huge. When it started off with just a plateau, nothing in it, just a lake, a couple of rocks, and now you can get yourself a massive base. And the sky's the limit. You can just keep on going. You can build and build and build, provided you've got the resources to do it. You can just keep on adding more and more and more to your little area. I think the steel fences take a long time to actually complete as well, because you have to make them into wood first. Then you can't go from wood to steel. You have to go from wood to concrete. So all of these have to be created into concrete. So you have to make yourself a lot of concrete, and then cement. Once you got them into cement, then you can upgrade them to steel. So these fences took 3 stages to get to where they are now, and it took me a heck of a lot of time to actually get enough steel to go all the way around this area. And then of course then you've got the spike traps, and getting enough iron fragments to upgrade the tips on them. Again, it takes a lot of resources, a lot of time, but it's the enjoyment factor of it which keeps you enticed and hooked on the game. It is like a drug, basically. You want to keep on seeing what you can do, get it better. And I think I've just spotted a bird in my tower. I had a deer running up there the other day. I was wondering where it was coming from. I ran up the stairs and there was a bloody deer up here. So I'd obviously left the door open. Where is he? Oh, there he is, look. The pigeon. So this is my tower. It's very high. Takes you a long time to go at the top. And another one. Seagull this time. Okay. That's what happens when it's open to the elements. So we're up very high. So get yourself a nice view. I'm almost as high as the tallest mountains around, look. But you got to get a good perspective of the area. But going along. But, yeah, going to keep on building that up. And looking out for the next. Get some feathers. It's handy for the arrows. Keep an eye out for the next Bambi attack. There's my main base from down below. But you see what I've done there? I've got myself a nice little walkway around it. Lots of resources, lots of extractors, and grass. The greenhouses there are imperative for keeping your food fresh and a constant supply of food. Obviously, there's no end of deer and bears and other wild animals that just come to your base. The wolves seem to be quite popular. Another one, what's it? Crow this time. Bloody hell. Getting everything in here. I want some more food. This guy, you're constantly eating. Actually, the guy eats. He must be about 200 pounds. He's you wouldn't think he was actually trying to survive in the wild, you know. He's got definitely doesn't look to shorten his food intake. He's eating constantly. Every half hour the stomach will be rumbling, which is another addition to the game. First time they brought that out, I heard this rumbling noise. I thought it was actually my stomach. I found out it was actually part of the upgrade on the game, and your character's stomach rumbles when he feels hungry, and he also yawns when he feels tired. So it's yeah, it's good. They're improving it as they go along. All these little improvements really get to create the game and make it a little bit more exciting, a little bit more challenging. But to start with, I think it's quite difficult if you haven't got much in the way of a base or resources, and you're getting constantly attacked by the Vambies. You feel like you're fighting a losing battle to actually get anywhere, and the Vambies are knocking all your targets over. You have to your fences and your walls. You always have to constantly repair everything. But as soon as you get yourself up to a position where you can get yourself a nice base, protect it with a perimeter wall of spike traps and big solid steel fence like that, you're actually going to be pretty safe inside your base. You're not going to be getting any issues from too many of the Vambies, and they're quite easy, I think, to take out. A couple of jabs from your spear. I tend to prefer to jab with my spear rather than throw it, because I found sometimes it's easy to lose the spear amongst the overgrowth. I've actually turned the actual foliage down actually on this, down to I think the medium setting, but so you can actually see a little bit more underneath. But before I did that, it was very difficult to find stuff because the foliage is quite thick with flowers and grass, and to be looking to try and find stones and they just disappear and you can't find them. So it's a seagull. So I've turned that down so it's easier now to find everything. But things like arrows and spears, an arrow can just go flying off, obviously, and you lose it. If it gets stuck into a target, you can retrieve it. But yeah, it's easy to lose things. So you've got the spear; it's easier to prod, and I find you've got the arrows as well, which you use with the bow. The bow's actually very good as well. But you've got to make the arrows, and they can actually be a little bit crossy as well with resources. And it's easy to lose those. They just go flying off and you never find them again. So that's a little overview of my camp. Oh, drop down. So yeah, so that's I'm quite impressed with that. It's looking pretty good. So that's my glass tower, concrete stairs, steel frame, and it's just going to see how far up I can take it before I lose interest. But yeah, be interested to see what it looks like. I think the next thing we do is we'll probably have a little look around at one of the villages and see where we can actually loot from the village. But when you get to actually a village, the Vambies actually get quite prolific in their attacks as well. So, but that's it for now. That's a quick little view at my little world I created in The Infected. So it's a fantastic game, totally addictive. And if you like building games which are slow burners and you don't have any rush to do them, then you're going to love this. Brilliant. And hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you on my next review.